see more of Dak Prescott's personality last night on Hard Knocks. Other than just rehabbing from his muscle strain, we got to see him playing cards with teammates, and he also shared his childhood fear of people in costumes. So, Shannon, what have you learned about Dak from Hard Knocks so far?
If I already knew Dak was a good guy. His teammates really like him. He's a really down-to-earth guy. Plays cards with the guys. He goes out, probably goes bowling. They probably do a lot of things together. So there's nothing like not to like about Dak Prescott, even though playing spades looks like him and Zeke got set on that last hand. Looked like they ran a 10 for 2 on him. So
I noticed that.
You noticed that?
And the guy who runs the mailroom, Jonathan Jackson, I loved him. He took it over.
Hey, you ain't no hard feelings. Zeke ain't no hard feelings when you come into the stadium. Skip, Dak's a good leader. He's the type of quarterback that you want, a guy that guys gravitate towards. He's going to do the right things. He's going to be prepared mentally, physically. Yeah, he has a little setback not dealing with the lat muscle, the sprain in his lat. But, Skip, there's nothing not to like about him. Now, we didn't get a whole lot. The previous episodes, we learned a little bit about the shoulder, possibly when he possibly come back. Then we didn't get anything about that last night. And so I don't think that was an accident.
I
don't think that was an accident. I think, hey, Dak, you putting too much information out there. We don't want this out there. Let's just go play it out. September 9th's going to roll around. You're going to trot out there, be up under the center, and we'll move from there. But, Skip, for me, I didn't learn anything different about Dak that I didn't already think or didn't already know. I thought he was a good guy. He came across as a good guy, a guy that his teammates like being around, gravitate towards. That's the type of guy that you can win with.
Okay. First of all, a quick observation about Ezekiel Elliott. So we got to see inside a quarterback room meeting, and the conversation starts with Zeke talking about why he has always been afraid of mascots. They're like Dak's people in costumes, but he doesn't like mascots. They just they bother him. Just their general appearance. And I'm thinking, what's Zeke doing in the quarterback room? And then I read in today's USA Today that he has long been allowed to attend quarterback meetings to streamline communication. This is just my hunch from a distance. I think he's long been allowed to attend because he and Dak are like that. They are joined at the hip. And they're good for each other because they vibe off each other. And I think they both said, hey, we spend a lot of hours away from each other. Let Zeke come into the quarterback meeting because there'll be a lot of communication that can actually help him in that meeting. And I agree with that. But I have never, ever heard of a running back sitting in the quarterback room. Have you?
Nope.
And I will bet you no other team in this league has a running back in the quarterback room as we speak.
Even when I was going to have running back responsibility, Skip, I was going to have to block from the backfield. I never sat in there. It was just, we talk about that in the offensive meeting. I went in my own meeting, and they says, okay, Shannon, this is what we're going to need you to do. You're going to motion to the backfield, and you scan 1 to 2. If they go Liz, obviously you got the guy off the edge or one of those guys. If they go Rip, you go to the other side. But I didn't go in the quarterback room, Skip. I just didn't. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's not how we normally do it.
You concur it's unusual.
It's very unusual.
In highly unusual.
Very unusual,
right?
Yes, very.
Next thing I notice about the seating in the quarterback room, the spacing is that Dak now sits in the first row of seats that go above the table, at which all the other quarterbacks and coaches are sitting. So he's a little bit removed into himself, which that's his new stature. He's going to make $75 million next year. He is the uncostume. He says that's the perfect place to kill somebody. And he goes on to say that she understood. And he said, y'all think it's a fake chainsaw that guy in the costume is carrying, but you don't know if one of them crazy, as you say, mofos, put a blade on that B word one day, as in the chainsaw might have an actual blade on it instead of a rubber blade, So it was a great story because I thought, oh, well, that's his one deep phobia. You know, like he has a fear of people in costumes because he doesn't know what their motive might be.
I think the thing is also what I like about him, Skip, is that although I'm the quarterback, yes, I'm the highest paid, yes, I'm the face of the franchise, he doesn't put himself above the teammates.
No.
He's also a guy, Skip, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones go to bed, they're never going to get a call about Dak Prescott. That's the thing.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Just for the record, just to be completely objective, he did have a DUI
in college.
At Mississippi State.
Yes.
Just one.
Yeah, I think and sometimes, I think he got that out of his system and he realized that, you know what? I want to enjoy, because a lot of times, Skip, as an athlete, you don't get the certain privileges and the certain benefits of a college student.
Yeah.
Because you looked at it different. They don't know the guy that's going to the science class that's getting a degree in journalism or something like that.
Agreed.
But you're the quarterback of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. That's going to make the news. Somebody in the drama class that gets a DUI ain't going to make the news.
Nope.
He learned that.
Even in Starkville, Mississippi.
Yes, yes. So he learned at a very young age, yes, I want to do certain things, but I can't. I forego that. I gave that all up because this is what I wanted to be, and you have to be willing to make those kinds of sacrifices.
Right.
I believe he's willing to make those kinds of sacrifices.
Right. And some people speculated that's why he fell some in the draft. Well, I'm losing track. Was he fourth round?
Fourth round.
Fourth round. Mm-hmm. So, boy, he looks. If you redrafted that draft today,
he
not go?
No question, he's a first rounder.
Well, he's definitely a first rounder. I'd have to go back and study. I didn't look at him before, but
Wins and golf was in that draft.
He'd be top 5-ish.
Oh, easy.
Well, wouldn't he go above those two?
Probably because they went 1-2.
Okay, so is it possible he'd go 1 in that draft? He just well might.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happened, and yet as a Dallas Cowboy, no issues. So to your point, that's why Jerry and Steven. Well, in the end. That's why Jerry finally caved and said, I just don't have another choice. I got to pay him this kind of money.
I gotta.
And Jerry admitted at the media session, he got me.
Right.
I lost.
Right.
I kept telling you. Jerry got taken to the cleaners, then he got taken to the bank by Dak Prescott.
Well, I think the biggest thing, Skip, is that Dak beat his son. He viewed Tony Romo as a son.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott took the job he looked at it like Stevie, look at Jerry Jr., he looked at it like his daughter, I think his daughter's name's Charlotte. Mm-hmm. That's how he viewed Tony Romo.
He did.
Skip, he did not want Dak Prescott to get this job.
And remember, Tony made a concession speech.
Yes.
Both in the locker room right after the game at Pittsburgh, our first year here on Undisputed. Remember, we were in New York that week, and then we came back, and that was the Sunday game at Pittsburgh. I didn't think they could win that game. And remember, Zeke took the game over. Dak was special in that game. They won at Roethlisberger. And then in the locker room, Romo told Stephen Jones, and it was reported that, hey, you have no idea how hard it is to do what he just did.
Right.
And then that Tuesday, he just gave a concession speech. I give it up. It's his job.
I still believe Jason Garrett and Stephen Jones fought for Dak like Dad. Well, they don't call him Dad. Stephen, they call him Jerry. Jerry, you can't do this. Yeah. You cannot give Tony this job back. This kid is playing too well.
Okay. So he got Brady.
Yeah, he did, Skip. Hey, injury? You can lose. And I don't know who started that, Skip, where that idea came from. You can't lose your job because of injury. Because Mike would always tell us, we start to see, Mike says, look, if you get injured and the guy comes in and he's playing better than you before you got injured, it's his job. So you can't lose your job to injury.
I don't know where that started. It's almost like we all accept that's the golden rule. Well, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
So I would like to thank Hard Knocks for giving us some inside looks, especially into Dak's psyche.
Right.
Yeah, the card playing was definitely a highlight. Felt very real and relatable. It's been fun to see those behind-the-scene moments. Shannon, listen up here. Did LeBron just lose one of his most important pieces to winning a title? Let me explain.
You got it.
Broken-hearted.
No mercy.